In this video, we're going to explore the process of crafting a sweet habanero jelly. We're going to delve into the nuances of water bathing techniques for that perfect shelf-stable finish. But be sure to stick around to the end as we're going to explain how to create your own homemade pectin as well. Now, our goal with these videos is to never waste a harvest, an abundance of fruit, or food scrap. In this video, we're going to equip you with essential skills for situations where a trip to the store may not be possible. I'll paste a link in the comments below to everything I'll cover in this video. So let's get cooking. Sweet habanero jelly. I like this jelly because I use a sweet habanero variety. It has a little heat, but nothing compared to the regular habanero. Your taste buds initially are going to react to the habanero, but then the intense heat, it doesn't really happen. The sweet and hot make an excellent glaze for barbecued or smoked meats, tossed with wings, or simply spread over cream cheese on a bagel. You can use whatever hot pepper you like. If you keep your ratios the same, you can scale up or down the quantity produced. I ended up with 6 half-pint jelly jars, so this recipe is going to yield around 50 ounces of jelly. You're going to need 4 cups of sugar, 4 ounces of chopped peppers, 1 1/4 cup apple cider vinegar, 1/4 cup lemon juice, and 1 teaspoon salt. And a couple of drops of red and yellow food coloring to ensure our final color reflects the beautiful orangish red of these peppers. You're also going to need 1 2-ounce box of fruit pectin. Now later in the video, I'm going to show you how to make pectin from scratch. You're also going to need some 4-ounce jelly jars and a pot with a lid to water bathe can the finished product. That will make it shelf stable. Begin by de-stemming your peppers. You're also going to want to wear gloves for this process. Now the heat of hot peppers is mainly in the pith, that whitish part inside and the stems. You can reduce the final heat by removing the interior of the peppers. You don't have to get it all out, but take out as much as possible, especially the seeds, to create a more appealing final product. I also have 1 Thai pepper in here to get my heat level where I want it to be. Once the peppers are destemmed, you must mince them finely. You must be careful with this process because the oils will burn you. Some people use a blender for this process, but I don't suggest it because it's hard to get the oils out of some blenders after use. Now take your time considering wearing eye protection and don't touch anything until you thoroughly wash your hands. Keep reducing them until they are like a relish. Tips: be careful washing your equipment as this can release the volatile oils into the air as steam or water vapor. Wash your hands with dish soap while holding a stainless steel spoon. This will help to neutralize oils. Side note, washing your hands with a spoon also will rid them of onion or garlic smells. Add peppers, sugar, vinegar, lemon juice, and salt to a small pot and slowly bring it to a boil with continuous stirring to combine all the ingredients. When all the ingredients have blended together just under a boil, I add 2 drops of red coloring and 3 drops of yellow to get the color I want in my final product. Turn down the heat and add your pectin packet, stirring until it's fully dissolved. Then turn the heat back up and bring the mix to a boil. Boil for 1 minute, stirring constantly, then turn off the burner. Let the mix cool a bit, then pour into jars warmed in hot water. Apply lids, then rings to finger tight and place in a pot. If you have a rack, you can place it in your pot to keep them off the hotter surface of the pot's bottom. It is safer. Once jars are filled, place them in the water bath pot and cover them with water. Apply medium heat with the lid on. Increase heat gradually for 5 minutes, then bring to a boil for another 5 minutes. Turn off the heat and let sit for 10 minutes to finish the water bath canning. Carefully remove them to the countertop once cool. Place them on a dish towel if still hot. They will seal as they cool when the dimple on top goes down. Now once sealed, these are shelf stable when stored in cool, dark places for up to a year or even longer. Refrigerate after opening. Making pectin. Now let's say you can't go to the store and pick up a package of pre-processed pectin. Our ancestors, they made jelly before the manufacturing process, and they did so by creating their own pectin. Making homemade pectin from apple cores and skins, it's really a great way to utilize parts of the fruit that are often discarded. Pectin is a soluble fiber polysaccharide found in fruits. It is used as a thickener in cooking and baking. Apples and citrus fruits are highest in pectin, so we're going to use apples here. The meat and some of the remnants of our pectin making process will be used to make apple butter in the next recipe. Here's a simple recipe for making apple pectin. Ingredients: cores and skins from a dozen or more apples, 4 to 6 cups of water, cheesecloth or cloth for straining. Instructions: gather the cores and skins from about a dozen apples. These can be leftovers from making applesauce, apple pie, or other apple-based recipes. Place the apple cores and skins in a large pot. Add water to cover 1 inch above the apples. Bring the water and apple scraps to a boil. Once it reaches a boil, reduce the heat to low to maintain a gentle simmer to reduce the mix. Allow the mix to simmer and evaporate for 2 to 4 hours. To test your pectin, put 1 teaspoon of the pectin liquid into 1 tablespoon of isopropyl alcohol or grain spirit. It should form into a jelly. Do not skip this test, or you may need to resimmer and evaporate more water from the mix until you get it right. When your pectin passes the test, set up a fine mesh strainer or cheesecloth over a large bowl or another pot. Strain the liquid from the cooked apple scraps. Let the liquid cool to room temperature. This liquid contains natural pectin extracted from the apple scraps, and once cooled, store it in a clean, airtight container in the refrigerator. Use this homemade apple pectin as a natural thickening agent for homemade jams and jellies. Add it to your fruit mixture when cooking your jam or jelly according to your recipe. Remember that the potency of homemade pectin may vary, so you might need to experiment with quantities when using it in recipes. The baseline you're working with is 1/4 to 1/2 cup of homemade apple pectin per cup of fruit for jams or a cup of fruit juice for jellies. I tend to use more rather than less. The more tart your apples are to begin with, the more pectin you likely will get in your mix, so crab apples are ideal for this purpose. Additionally, since the pectin doesn't contain preservatives, it's advisable to use it within a few weeks or freeze it for longer storage. You could water bathe this, as we learned in the previous process, and store it for a few months and up to a year, but it's such a small quantity we make each time that it's best to just put it in a jar and keep it in your refrigerator. In the next video in this series, we will make the best tasting and simplest apple butter you have ever had right from my family's recipe book. I'll show you how to use that homemade pectin to turn regular fruit juice into a delicious jelly. As always, stay safe out there.